Welcome back to Brolosophy. I'm here with Ash Williams today. So Ash is a comedian, actor, podcaster. What else would you call yourself, mate?
Son. Uncle now. Shout out to my niece Scarlett. She doesn't talk at the moment. She should be walking by now. I'm concerned.
Oh, really? How old is she?
She's 6 months, but we just
definitely
want
behind the eight ball.
Yeah. We want
She should be walking on her hands, maybe walking backwards.
Well, at least have a job. But I want I want my niece to be advanced, and my brother's all about that because he's a medical doctor and he just wants her to be like the number one draft pick for everything. So right. We're all concerned. We're all worried.
Yeah,
but,
well, you got to put heaps of pressure on her early, I reckon.
I am.
That's the easiest way to pull her into line.
Yeah, I'm a stage uncle. You got stage dads. I want her to be like, I know she's going to be a top model, and I don't say that like as a joke. So she's so beautiful, and I can say that because she's my niece.
Yeah. You're
so
right.
I think she's going to.
It would be strange for me to say it, especially beautiful, and especially 6 months old.
Yeah, beautiful. I think beautiful is as far as you can go with the compliments.
Can't say sexy, can you?
Definitely
not. No, that'd be weird. Anyway, so we got Ash in here today. Mate, tell us a little bit about yourself. How would you explain yourself?
I would explain myself as someone who's just living life without going too much into it. I do comedy, I do stand-up, I do radio. I haven't had like a full-time job in 10 years. The last full-time job I had was at Nova in Melbourne, just around the corner from here. But yeah, man, I've kind of just been like, I've had a bit of luck. I could have some more luck, and I'm just trying to create funny things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like a first player. Like it's like I'm playing a video game.
Yeah.
It's like what's that video game? Fortnite? No.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
second.
it.
I don't. Anyway,
Fortnite I think is
where you play the video game. I'm playing that, but with my life.
Cool.
So it stresses my mum out.
Yeah, that's her job.
she's very concerned, but yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It's a cool life that you've carved out for yourself. So where did it all start? Like, what's your background? Where are you from? Like,
background. Obviously went to school. I did marketing, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I did marketing, and then still didn't know what I wanted to do when I left Deakin University, which is in Burwood, if you know it. It's a good one. It's near the Red Rooster there. And so then afterwards, I thought, I need some breathing time. So I moved to Perth. I started show business, if you will. I actually started as a G-string waiter, and I did that for about 3 months. Until I was chased out of town.
Everyone's entry to the showbiz.
Well, yeah, a lot of people now aren't doing G-string. G-string's Perth.
Yeah, right.
Now, like people do like brief waitering, in your Bonds undies and stuff. That's a paid post. But no, I did the G-banger stuff, and I was incidentally wearing Bonds. But and then I came back to Melbourne, worked in marketing, worked in events, and when I was about 25, I was like, I want to be on TV or something like that. So I started doing bits and bobs, did some promo work around here. Actually, I used to work for Pepsi Max.
G-string again?
Under the Pepsi gear.
Yeah, right.
I still had it. And then, I don't know, man, I just kind of gradually, I then got an opening at Nova to do some voiceovers when I was about 27. Maybe less. Maybe I was about 25. Started doing voiceovers. Yeah. Then they said, do you want to do some street teen stuff? Then do you want to do night radio? Do you want to do weekend radio? And I kind of just, you know how it is. You just got to keep moving a little bit.
Yeah, well, to be perfectly honest, it's quite interesting because when I was flicking around looking for guests we could get on the show in Melbourne, because I don't like we don't do Skype guests, so I just like having interesting conversations face to face,
Sure.
And I saw, and I only listened to a small portion of it, but I saw you on the Today not the Today Show. It's a podcast, two young lads. I haven't listened to it.
Oh, yeah, Daily Talk Show.
The Daily Talk Show, that's it. And I was like, Ash Williams. I remember Ash Williams. What's he doing with himself these days? And I started going back through what you've been doing lately and where you've been at. Because I remember you as the Nova presenter. You used to be like you used to give weather updates or something. At Nova right back in the day, and then they're like, they were kind of like, this Ash bloke's actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
we need to get him involved a bit more. And then you became like part of the show, and then you had your own show, and it was actually, I know exactly what you're talking about because I've seen the progression. That's why I wanted to get you on the show, because I knew you were over in LA doing, and it's just a cool story of like, I guess, persistence and like like you said, crafting your own life that you want to live, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's being aware of opportunities and then either taking that step or not. And I'm always someone who will take the step.
Yeah.
So then a big kind of sliding doors moment was working with Husey and Kate at Nova, and that's what you're talking about when I was doing the weather updates.
Yeah, I used to listen to Husey and Kate every morning. Yeah.
And then they gave me a little bit more rope to tell stories, and they're like, this guy's a bit of a fucking weird unit. And then I was lucky because then I got to learn from the best, you know, on mic, off mic, they're pros. Yeah. So I had to really kind of bring myself up to speed, not just as a performer, but as like a person. Because Kate Langbrook would say words to me, and I literally wouldn't know what the fuck it was. So I used to have a piece of A4 paper. I don't even think she knew I did this. And I used to write down all the words I didn't understand. And by the end of the 3 hours, I had like 50 fucking words. And then I'd go home and Google.
Yeah, that's right. And then you'd find a thesaurus to find words that you can actually pronounce, and I like those words.
Like, there's so many. And there's so many sayings that she says. And and then I would say them, but no one would understand them. And I'm like, good, I'm not alone. But yeah, man. And then that was awesome. And that's when I started doing stand-up about 2010, 2011. And I moved to LA in 2012. Mm-hmm. So that was just, again, I kind of finished up at Nova. I wanted to do other things, and I thought I'd be able to get my own show at Nova. They're like, leave.
Hey, mate, we got your ticket. Leaves at about 6:30.
Security's going to be...
You want to get there at 4:30 because it's on the other side of the
Yeah,
you're out of here, bro.
You know when you get like fired or you quit, security walks you out and you got to pack up all your shit?
Yeah.
I didn't have any shit there, so they just said, look, as you are, get out. And I remember I was like, what am I going to do? I got nothing really to do. So I thought, why not move to LA? Mm-hmm. So I moved to LA. I was there for 3 years. Did a lot of fun things. Did some stories I'm still collating and calibrating. I got so much material there because of the circumstance I was in. Mm-hmm. You know, because I literally didn't have any money. I spent all of my radio money. And then I had like $400 in the bank.
When you landed in LA?
No. When I landed, I had like, I think it was about 15,000.
Yep.
And I pumped through that like in about 3 months like a hero. Like I was just like... I just thought I'd get discovered.
Living that LA life.
Yeah, I thought I was going to kill it. And I didn't end up, you know, becoming DiCaprio within 3 months. So I was like,
killing it.
No, but I still had hope.
Yeah,
and
for sure. And you're having a crack.
Yeah, so then I was just like, just keep your foot in the game. And then I started working, similarly to the G-string waiter in Perth, I started working as a waiter at the gay bar in LA, and that became... Like, it was a secret at first.
Fuck, you'd have some stories from the gay bar, wouldn't you?
Well, so many, man. And I didn't want anyone to know about that because I was like,
I've got about 7 or 8 stories from the 2 hours I spent inside a gay bar in Melbourne one night.
Oh, which one?
You know what I mean? Oh, I actually don't know the name of it. It's not Poof Doof. Not Poof Doof.
Poof Doof's
Poof Doof's on...
Oh, no.
There's one on the corner in St Kilda on Nepean Highway, and I was in there one night.
Yeah.
And I walked in there, and me and a buddy of mine, 2 female buddies of mine, and my gay mate who was there to go see a friend of his or whatever. We went in there with him. And I tell you what, it would be all right to be gay. And I tell you why. Yeah. You can recklessly, without any sort of abandon, just grab another bloke on the fucking gonads right at the bar, and it's totally sweet.
Fucking earth, bro. Dude,
Jack each other off on the dance floor.
Yeah.
You know?
No, being gays, like, you know what, they're living... life.
They're living their best life.
Yeah, there used to be like literally in this street, I think there used to be Peel, or maybe it's the street over Peel.
Oh, Mr. Peel. Peel Street is Mr. Peel's cafe.
Mr.
Peel Street's one over.
It's a different guy. I remember going into Peel nightclub once with my then girlfriend because she was catching up with her gay mate, and she's like, "I'll see you back here in like 10 minutes." And I thought, "I'll go get a drink," and I went walking up the levels because there are different levels, and then like I think the top level is like dudes just fucking. And it was like dudes just on swings, like they're like they're sex swings. Yeah. I don't know if they've still got it.
I don't know. I haven't hung around here that much.
No,
it's Friday night, so what is it? It's after 12 now.
Yeah.
We're probably on now.
Yeah, well,
because I don't think they even roll by the same kind of time clock as we do.
No. It's like the old alcohol thing. It's 5 p.m. somewhere. You know, it's midnight somewhere.
That's
too.
right. It's gay o'clock somewhere.
Yeah. Get into it.
And they've got Grindr, but let's leave the
totally. But
yes.
yeah, man. Just finishing the gay bar thing. I didn't want anyone to know about that job So I didn't tell anyone. And then I realized that I was telling this story to my friends, and they were like pissing themselves. They're like, "Oh my God, is that what you actually do?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I was talking to my other mate, and I think either he said it or I realized I should be telling this story in stand-up. So then by doing a lot of these really weird jobs, they then became the material for the stand-up.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was a huge moment for me because I could just kind of just speak about my life, which is what I was doing, but a lot of the stand-up I was doing at the time wasn't as storytelling.
Yeah.
It was more like joke.
Yeah.
Which anyone can do.
Yeah, for sure. Storytelling's way better. My favourite comedian in the world, two of my favourite comedians, but I was going to say my favourite comedian in the world right now is Theo Von.
Yep.
And he just tells stories.
Yeah, Theo's pretty loose.
Most of which seem made up.
Yeah.
Until somehow he manages to back him up on his podcast. Like they're not
they're
that many
real.
of them actually made up. It's
they're real, man. That dude's a fucking he's a mess.
Yeah, he's so great. And then another one of my actually he's a bit more joke writer-ish, but also tells really good stories. Is Sebastian Maniscalco.
I know he's great. He's also very physical.
Yeah, that's right. He's a performer.
Yeah,
he's a real performer.
No, Sebastian was always going to be good. Well, it's easy to say that now. We don't know if retrospective knowledge is always easy.
Yeah.
But like, I was watching this just 2 nights ago. If you're a Sebastian Maniscalco fan, you watch the 30 Days and 30 Nights with Vince Vaughn, the Wild Wild West comedy tour.
Oh yeah.
So Vince Vaughn took like 4 or 5 relative unknowns. Sebastian was probably the most unknown, and that was his first kind of break. And he didn't kill, but at least he kept working hard, and he was on the right map, if you know what I mean. He's heading in the right direction.
For sure. Well, I've heard him talk about his kind of comedy and his career projection over the last however many, 10, 15, 20 years. And because he now sells out.
Yeah.
He sold out Madison Square Garden 4 shows in a row.
Yeah. No, it's psychopathic.
That is unbelievable. That's Eddie Murphy style.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So, because I love stories like that. Theo's the same. I saw Theo in Australia last year. And I remember because I was following him saw him on a Rogan podcast 2.5 years ago, stumbled upon his podcast. I was like, this bloke's fucking unbelievable. But even at that stage, like he had no following whatsoever. And he's skyrocketing. You just got to get that lucky break, I feel like.
What do you think was Theo's lucky break?
Oh, you really want to know?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Okay. No, I didn't know. But like, you would think that. Yes.
I think so. I think so because he had everything ready to go. He just wasn't really discovered in the right way, I guess, I feel like. So, and then anyone that gets their foot in the door with a Rogan podcast, if you're worth your salt, whatever you're doing.
Totally.
And then most people aren't really there to promote. They're just there to have a conversation and so forth. But once you get your foot in the door there, if people are genuinely, if you've got stuff that people should be interested in, then
totally
you're off and away. I really believe that. But I do love him. He's done all the hard work.
100%. If you're a comedian or a performer and you've got a story to tell and you go on Rogan will give you the paddock.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you follow AFL?
Yeah.
There used to be a great parlance called Pagan's Paddock.
Yeah.
You know it? I love Pagan's Paddock.
Yeah.
And so that's what they used to do with Wayne Kerr, the king, so to speak. They'd clear the 50-metre arc and they'd just kick it long and the paddock was there for Kerry. That's what Rogan will give you.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
I listen to Rogan and I think Rogan's great, but I don't think he's that funny. I think he's, there are so many funnier people, which is a kind of good scenario for a comedian going into a podcast. You're not competing.
Yeah, that's right.
So someone like Theo or anyone who goes on that show can really let loose. And you're doing a fucking podcast for 3 hours sometimes. Like you're telling...
Dude, we're gonna wrap this up in 57 minutes. We're not going to 1 hour.
No, that's good.
I don't know how he does it.
I listen to them and it takes me like 2 weeks because you're like on and then like you just got to fast forward the shitty bits.
Well, I go through periods where I'm like just devouring them one after the other, and then I go through periods where I'm like, I'll see one and I go 3.5 hours. I go, not this month.
No,
I'm not doing it. So because I reckon I actually genuinely think because I was talking to somebody about podcasting and I get asked, should I start a podcast from people because they've had podcasts? I mean, I've had a podcast for a while.
Yeah,
and I always say to them, only if you want to do it for a hobby or you have plans to I forgot my point, but I'll tell you what I was saying.
No, you're almost there.
Plans plans to monetize it through a product that you sell?
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is, I tell people you should start a podcast if you really want to do it, but don't really expect to monetize it super well.
Totally.
Especially through sponsorship. You can monetize podcasts through selling your services really well. And the point I was trying to get to was, I've listened to, because people, you listen to 3 hours of someone in your head, you fucking trust and like that person.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which you with a marketing background, that's half the battle won.
Yeah.
And then Rogan is actually, I reckon in the last 10 years, an aggregate of the male voices I've heard inside of my earlobes, he dwarfs my father, beats my brother, and fucking he's probably like more than any of my best mates.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Dude.
That's a wild concept.
But that's podcasting.
Yeah.
And so whether it's Rogan or whoever you're listening to, I try and explain this to and I'm sure you've tried to do this too with clients or people who want to sponsor my podcast. I'm like, first of all, I say, do you listen to podcasts? Because if they don't understand the world that we're living in.
Yeah, that's right.
This is someone who you're walking around with. This is someone who you trust. They're a part of your routine. And that's why the uptake from podcasts is so strong, because you're actually listening. So, podcast promo, it's only going to build exponentially.
Yeah, and it's the realest form of content,
Yeah.
We've gone through this era of like all of the people that we follow and so forth. They're all celebrities that are, the Brad Pitts and the Johnny Depps and the Will Smiths, all these guys, and LeBron James and Tom Brady and all these people that we've held in such high regard. I actually have a real problem with the whole celebrity kind of culture, but this is the best version of it because it's you can't go on Joe Rogan and hide. You can't pretend that you're somebody else,
Yeah, man.
You can't have a threat. It's just impossible.
That's why I love that, because also you get the storyteller comedians because there are so many comedians who aren't funny.
Yeah.
And you get them off stage and they can't tell a story because a lot of their routine is rote.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the actor in their own life.
Yeah.
So you've got to be naturally funny or have, you've got to at least come from a place of honesty. And from there, we're going to find out whether you're funny, and not everyone can do that. So that's a real... Philip or feather in the cap for comedians to show everyone, hey, check this out. It's awesome. And, there's nothing like letting people in. And look, this is like reality TV. It's like proper reality TV without the editing.
More real than reality TV.
Totally.
Think of Big Brother.
No, I know, but this is what I'm saying, without the editing.
Yeah,
without the fucking bullshit, or without playing a role to win a prize. And I think so many... people in the entertainment game are still playing a role once the lights are on. I know so many 100%. Fucking actors who are pretending to be something they're not, just because they reckon that kind of posturing or angle as a person, as a demographic, will get them more roles.
Yeah, for sure.
And you couldn't do that really as a comedian. It's going to be a tough slog.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's one really interesting thing about that whole thing you said about, proving that you are actually funny. One of the guys we mentioned earlier, Sebastian Maniscalco, have you ever listened to him on a podcast?
Yeah.
I really like him.
Yeah.
But his persona, from his onstage persona and his performance that he puts on, compared to him sitting down, could not be more, chalk and cheese. And I was like, I don't really care, because when I watch him, I'm like, this is one of the best things I've ever seen.
Sure.
But he's such a reserved, quiet. He even seems shy. It's a really...
Well, he's already come out and said he's a introvert, shy person. But he's funny because we've already seen him be funny. If he hadn't, front loaded our brains with you know what I mean?
You'd be like, who's this bloke?
You're like, this guy's not. But he's still funny to listen to on the podcast, and I love those real conversations.
Yeah, no, me too. I think he's a great guy. And I don't need to be laughing at everything that's like Rogan. Yeah. Rogan's. I don't think he's funny on his podcast. He's witty and he can be funny.
Yeah.
But he's just an interesting dude, and that's totally fine by me. It was just like Theo. I think is an example of someone who's funny 365 days of the year, 360 degrees.
Yeah.
Everything about him is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he, even at his most realist, he's just incredibly.
He's nuts,
silly.
though. He's nuts because I've listened to. Truth be told, I've only listened to Theo recently in the last 2 or 3 weeks because I wanted to listen to either an interview with Sebastian Maniscalco or David Spade or someone like that.
He had Spade on his show.
Yeah. So epic storyteller, funny dude. So then I'm listening to Theo, and Theo's funny, but he's got so much to work on. As we all do, you've got to be working to get better and better. But I think he can be so much better in other areas. But he's great with his unique storytelling, and he really plays his forehand there.
Yeah, he's unique. He's definitely unique.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but I want to see his stand-up. I would love to see more of his stand-up because all those guys, they get out a lot. They get out every night, and they've got their little crew. Like, Theo Von's out with...
That's a solid crew over
dude,
there
and that makes it so much more fun. Like, whenever I'm doing gigs and I'm doing it with buddies, it's fucking awesome. Because it doesn't... Fun. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Because I listen to all their podcasts. D'Elia, Rogan, Shaw and Callan, Theo Von, and that crew. Because you know Andrew Schultz, the comedian?
Yeah. I don't know him personally, but I'm now...
Yeah, coming to your path there. So I've listened to Andrew Schultz a little bit. He's from New York, and he always talks about how he's fucking spewing he's not in LA.
Oh, really?
Because he'd be part of that clique. Their whole, like, all that little comedic group, their whole brands have just built each other's brands.
Sure.
You know, and just blown it all up.
Yeah.
And it's been, and Tom Segura and, all those guys they're Rogan's mates to a big degree, but to a lesser with the other guys. But, I reckon it'd be great fun, like you said, but it's also great to piggyback off each other and help each other grow.
Oath, man.
Because that's what you would have done a lot coming up through the Nova ranks and stuff, right? Because I was looking on your website and whatever earlier, and I saw like, yourself rubbing shoulders with, the Ed Cavaliers and the guys that did the castle, that creative team. And
Working Dog,
Working Dog guys and Husey and Kate. Like, that would have been great because the whole Nova and Melbourne comedy community is pretty tight, right?
Yeah.
In a similar way.
Definitely. You've got to leverage from people and comedians in different ways. You leverage in knowledge and learning, but also in audience.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you've got to try and parallel those audience leverages into the right platform, which is interesting because a lot of the people who you just mentioned are not on Instagram. I mean, Husey is, but the other guys aren't. They're like,
no, you're right, yeah.
They're way off it. They're barely on Twitter. So you've got to try and leverage the right audience for the right platform, and that's case by case basis. But you see, like what Andrew Schultz is doing really well is like he's done that with YouTube, and he's like released his special all on YouTube or whatever he's done. The goalposts, they're always moving, and there's always an opportunity to kick a goal now.
100%.
The goal might not even be an AFL. It might be soccer. You know what I mean? It's whatever.
No,
but,
that's right. You do definitely have the opportunity to build your own everything more than ever now. With social media, YouTube, the podcast sphere and stuff. You don't have to go to other external sources to build. You've been to Nova and television and so forth, and lots of people coming up through the celebrity ranks have, but also now it's moving to. The people are the brands. When you got your YouTube and podcasts, you can really blow yourself up. So
totally.
So let me ask you this though. So when did it all happen that you went from kind of general performance, radio figure into comedy? That was only in between your stint of like at Nova, right?
Man, there was
kind of came into it late, you would say?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think I was maybe 28, 29.
Gotcha, yeah.
That just came about me believing I was funny.
Yeah.
Like I've always gotten laughs and stuff ever since I was young without sounding egotistical. It's always been good.
No, you're a knucklehead. Like the people listening and watching, they know it straight off if they don't know it. You're a knucklehead.
A knucklehead, yeah. Is that a compliment? So I was like, did you just call me a knucklehead?
Who the fuck is this?
No, appreciate that. But you look back through your life and you're like, yeah, cool. There's a stand-up spot. So I've always loved the crowd, so to speak. And then, I was doing radio, and then I just thought, I'm working with Husey every day, and I just thought, fuck, I can do that. So I just organised a gig, and then you start doing it. That's like it is in anything. You've just got to start doing it. But stand-up's one of those things where you need to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And that never really stops.
Yeah.
I don't think.
For sure.
If you want to keep getting better, because you get new material and your style might change a bit. You get older. So you just got to keep doing it.
That's just reps.
Fucking oath it is, man.
I can totally see that.
That's what we call it, hitting the mat.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm a weightlifter.
Oh, good.
But like competitively, like Olympic weightlifting.
Yeah.
So, like I'll train for, 6 months and I'll be having my wrist set in the setup, a certain way, and then I'll be like, oh, what if I fucking pulled my wrist in and tried, to keep the bar in line, whatever it is, and then I've got to practice that and practice that and practice that. That might keep the bar straighter or get the better laugh, you know, like it's always, I imagine the more reps you can put in, like anything, the better you're going to get.
Totally. Well, sport's always a great analogy, as you said. I've got a background in tennis, so like that is very similar to stand-up. I didn't turn pro, but I was pretty good. I was probably just off. I was probably just off, you know what I mean? Yep. But it's very similar. You've got to get out, do the training, and that's what stand-up is. So, started doing that in like 2011, and then when I moved to LA, I thought, fuck it, just started doing it more. But I kind of went all in with the stand-up. Like I did a full, whether it was good or not, remains to be seen, but I did a full hour like within 3 months of starting stand-up, which is pretty unheard of.
Far out.
But that was just every little bit that I'd ever done. Like a lot of people like mine for gold with their stand-up and keep the gold. I was mining, but I kept the water and all the all the dirt.
Kept the gumboots.
I was like, everything's in. So, man, and I kind of did an hour show every year for 3 years, and then took a break, and then came back and did the comedy festivals in like 2016, 2017. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when you actually got on the stage for the first time, because I want to understand the psyche of someone getting into stand-up comedy.
Sure.
So, because let's say this podcast, for example, me and you, I don't get nervous. I don't get nervous whoever I'm talking to in the podcast in this form of medium.
Sure.
I could, interview anyone. It wouldn't raise a sweat. But when it came to public speaking, when I first started public speaking a little bit, the idea of actually getting up there, it's everyone's, greatest fear, obviously. So
not everyone's.
Yeah, not everyone's, but like the it's larger than the fear
be up
of
there.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then for me, once I started to break through and started to do it, obviously, like you said, get reps in and it became more comfortable. But I feel like stand-up, it's public speaking, but even more so, it must be more terrifying because not only you stand up in front of people and speaking, you got to make them laugh. Like that is really difficult stuff. I would feel like to get your head around. How did you train? I feel like you're going to say it was all right.
Nah, well, it was all right.
Yeah,
but I've just gotten I don't know, man. Whether it's like naive youth, but I was just like whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just did it.
Yeah, that's a great way to be.
And like, I just told a story. I got fuck all laughs from memory. But I remember thinking, this is too easy.
Yeah, dead set.
Oh yeah. I remember getting off stage. I did the Comics Lounge. I did like 7 minutes. I told this incredibly offensive story that if I told today, I'd probably be locked up.
Yeah.
And I didn't really add too many jokes. And I was just like telling this story verbatim. And then I got off and I said, all right, thank you. And then like a lot of the comedians who were there that night, they were like fucking...
What just happened?
White face backstage. They're like, what was that? And I'm like, not bad, huh? And they're like, was that a true story? I mean, what's going on? I said, no, it's a true story. And I just thought I killed. But like, it's not about killing or not. It's just about doing it.
So that's interesting.
So then I just went back and I realized that it probably could have gone better.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like... deterred one iota. I was just like, yeah, cool. I can add that.
It certainly didn't bomb, and it certainly didn't freak you out, and it wasn't a bad experience.
Nah, I mean, I may have bombed.
Yeah,
but I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, and you didn't really care.
Nah, I suppose when you've got higher expectations of what you can do when you're used to killing, that's when you go, that didn't go so well. Whereas if you never reach, if the bar's not high, then
that's right.
Do you know what I mean?
Starting from zero. Yeah, that's right.
That's why like people who can be fucking just dead set killers and they're used to laughs, and then they still do well, but they don't kill. They can get off and go terrible gig. It's all relative.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good way to look at it.
Oh, fucking oath,
it's a good way to look at anything, really.
But also, like, stand-up's just one of those things that as you do it long enough, you've just got to take it like the wind, if you can. Like, don't...
What do you mean by that?
Well, just there's going to be good and bad, because when you take chances, the better you get, I think the more chances you should take.
Yep.
And when you take chances, sometimes they're not going to land.
Yeah.
It's like skateboarding, you're trying to do difficult tricks, and you can't be deterred by that.
Yeah.
So each to their own, though. I know some comedians will never try. But you've got to try and be in touch with who you are, with your angle, what tools you possess, so that you can understand what you can do.
Do you reckon you're a pretty, how would I say it? I was going to say confident bloke, but do you reckon you're pretty, the other word I was going to say is self-assured, but that's not really what I'm looking for either. I feel like you're quite confident in your own skin. Would that be a fair representation?
Man. Yeah, no, I am. I'm like very.
Some people, so myself, for example, I had a mate come on yesterday. He did our podcast, and he also interviewed me for his health and fitness thing around mental health, because I'm a real confident, outgoing, gregarious dude, but I also get mad social anxiety and like I've had, stuff like that.
Sure.
But I feel like the little that I know of you, and from what you're telling me, especially from stand-up comedy, like the fact that you're out there and you're like, I don't really care. I'm just going out there and telling a story and having a crack. I feel like that tells me that you're you're just comfortable in your own skin.
You've got to remind yourself, though, we're all human. So, you've just got to, whether you've got some self-calibrating thing that you can go, if you have a bad gig or a good gig, you can say to yourself, whatever, you go, fucking, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Like, I always say, it's like in a week, you won't, and it sounds like a throwaway line, but in a week, no one will even, maybe you won't remember it. It's just like people blow things into something they're not.
Yeah,
and it's just like, look, just move on. And if you can't, just keep walking, and then something else will appear.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's a great way to be. I feel like people get stuck in procrastination in life, You
got to move. Sorry, man, but you got to move. Like sometimes just go for a walk, and that sounds so literal, but you just need to go for a walk, and then things will, appear. You'll have ideas or something. Like sometimes I'll just go for a walk, and I'll be like, "Fucking hell, man! I'm glad I went for a walk. I feel fucking really good right now. I can see what I need to do a bit clearer." And I know a lot of people subscribe to that.
This is a strange tangent that we're going down, but I actually am a huge believer in going for a walk.
Yeah.
Because my previous company, Adventure Fit, we were an adventure travel company for the fitness community. So we'd take people around the world on holiday, but then on those holidays, there'd be fitness elements, and every trip had to have like a big hike, a decent hike, whether it's a 1 day, 2 day. We've been to Everest Base Camp a number of times, did Kokoda, all that kind of stuff. And some of the best ideas that I've ever had, and some of the most times where I've been able to clear my thoughts, better than ever before, is when I'm actually just putting one foot after the other. It's quite interesting, because you just get into that rhythm, and you have time to think, which you don't actually have much in this life. My day here, coming up here, I was like public transport, on my phone. All right, cool. Get off your phone. Put my phone back in my pocket. But I'm listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
You never actually get that time to kind of...
For sure. But we're all...
settle on your thoughts.
Yeah, man. God. And I think we're all trying to strip that down wherever we're starting from. But we're just trying to... even Rogan, he decreasing the bandwidth of what you put your brain through.
Yeah.
Because we can only take in so much per day. So, it's just about... simplifying that, but you're going back to the assurance thing. I started pretty late. You got to remember, I kind of was 27, 28. I had some life experience. I had some jobs and some businesses, and coming into it a bit later was much better for me because, especially when I moved to LA, I was 30. If I moved to LA, because LA's an all-encompassing beast.
Yeah.
And you're almost just like, it's like you sleep with it on the first night. And you do everything, I would love you forever kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if I went to LA when I was 20, I feel like I might have gone down the wrong path. And I certainly wouldn't have been able to look at my situation with levity because I was in some pretty, scary situations. But I always looked at it, looked at the funny side of it and thought, I can use this as material. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. So tell me a story. Like you said, scary is an interesting word to use. So do you mean scary as in because you were like, running out of cash, kind of like...
No.
Or you're actually like... Explain, what do you mean by that?
Oh, just weird things, man. Like, like just meeting people off the internet that you've never met. And, I remember I did one thing. It was like a guy wanted to be picked up from the airport and then driven to a bachelorette party. But I had to pick him up topless. So I'm in the car topless.
Oh yeah, because you're doing the
Yeah, but this was a side thing. So this was through Craigslist, which is the dodgy jobs website.
In LA.
A lot of people have been murdered on Craigslist.
Yeah.
And so then
Craig's dead.
Craig's dead?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Murdered. No, it's a joke.
Oh God, fuck. I might steal that.
Yeah, so go on.
So I'm actually definitely going to steal that. So yeah, just things like that where you're meeting strangers. You never know. It's not like you can, get a police check on these people. So this guy gets in the car and he's just it's all good, but you just never know. You just never know. I've been in other situations with guys in like hotel rooms. I've been flown to San Francisco. And again, you're meeting these people for the first time. So it's a bit of a gamble
100%.
with your life. 100%. But I was always, again, just like, I trust my perception and my instinct at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I've done so much of that stuff to know when I need to get out of a situation.
Yeah, no, I have too. I haven't been in, Craigslist picking up blokes topless and driving them to a bachelorette party, but I've travelled all over the world. I've travelled for probably 18 months of backpacking in my 25 to 30 period, and through Central and South America and Asia and whatever, and I've always really pushed the boundaries of what I can get away with.
Yeah.
And I always think, that, this will at least create a good story if I can, wrangle my way out of this one.
Yeah.
But then I also am smart enough to just, get away with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Just to get away with it. But yeah, I've certainly got a lot of experiences where I've kind of come in at the end of the night and I've been like,
yeah,
how the fuck do I get through that?
Yeah, dude. Because you never know. Fuck it. It can be all over like that. But I've never been like fucking... One time I took a mate with me as security because I was doing I think you may have heard about this. I was doing a tickle video. And so then it seemed pretty sus, and I was meeting this guy 2 hours out of LA in a hotel room. Anything could happen. Also, they're tying you up. So once they tie me up, then I'm fucking...
You're tied up.
It's literally tied up. So then I brought my mate Marty, and I said, Marty, if you come, I'll give you $50. So he's like, yeah, great. He's easy buy. And then he came and sat on the bed, and he was just like my kind of security for the time. But you never know. You just never know.
Have you ever... This is a question that I've never really asked anyone, but I've got a couple of circumstances. Have you ever thought to yourself, fuck, I'm dead here. I might be in real strife?
Yes. Yeah. I was doing a modelling job off Craigslist for a catalogue. I was paying $200, and like, long story short, he's like, put all your clothes on. I'm going to be taking photos. It was meant to be for a magazine. Then I found out that it was just for practice. He goes, no, this is just for practice.
Right.
In case I'm hired by the magazine.
Right.
I'm like,
so at that point were you like...
No, then I said to him, have you got the money though?
Yeah.
And then he goes, yeah. And he popped out the $200 out of his shirt pocket there. And I was like, fuck, you're all good, man. Let's shoot.
Dodgy place to keep money, by the way.
But he did it so well. It was like, there's kerchiefs in the suits. He kind of just flickered it out so you could see all 4 50s.
Just flashes your
I could see like
little
4
greenback,
Thomas
Benjamin.
Yeah. And then whatever the 50 is, Thomas Jefferson or something. So then I was like, let's shoot. And then like my rule with doing those jobs is never drink the drink and never eat the food, just because they might poison it. Not even a joke. So then like he's like, put the oil. He goes, I need to see more oil on your abs. And then like he had all this like massage oil. And I was like, no, I don't want to use it. And then he said, just use it. I need to see. I was like, fuck it. What are the chances of...
So you haven't got... This is with Marty?
No. On my
Marty
own.
Here.
On my own.
Oh, dude.
Top level, dodgy hotel off a freeway.
Inglewood.
Yeah, not
hotel.
as dodgy.
Yeah, right.
And then I put the oil on, and then about 10 minutes later, I felt immediately sleepy. And I thought I was gone, like genuinely. All jokes aside, thought I was done. I'm like, I'm falling asleep. This bastard's got me. Fuck, this is how it's going to end. And this is it. So I texted my mum, literally said, look, I love you. Texted my family, tell them all. And I texted one mate and said, listen, this is it. We've joked about this, but some old fucker has poisoned me. Come to this hotel in this room. And he just didn't write back. And then about 15 minutes later, I fell asleep on the bed. And then I woke up And yeah, I was just tired. I was just like, no.
You were raped, bro. No, just joking. Sorry.
When I say 15 minutes, it's probably like 5 minutes. But like, I remember I woke up and I was just like, and he was just sitting there in the chair, the photographer, and he goes, "You drifted off there, buddy." And I was like, "Yeah, man," because I was working gay bar the night before, so I'd only had like 3 hours sleep, and I was just like, "Yeah, man, I'm so tired." Yeah, and then like I was like, "Yeah, I didn't say it to him, but," and then he goes, "You ready to keep shooting?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man." I'm like lying there in like Y fronts and a shark tooth necklace that he made me wear. Yeah, so like you just never know. I mean, but that was the closest I've come to.
That creeps me out so much.
There's so many stories. I mean, I again, it just sounds ridiculous, but like I've got a lot of them because I was doing one of those weird jobs probably 3 times a week for about 2 years, and then I got a normalish job.
Yeah.
At like a personal training studio.
Oh yeah, I was interested to see what your normal job was.
Well, how's this? So we were doing it's a very famous Aussie PT studio now in LA, and I'll just say what it's called. It's called Training Mate, right? So Training Mate it's on the Kardashians. So I was the first trainer there because my mate started it, and he said, "I don't want a trainer. I just want someone easygoing. You know, I don't want all that."
Yeah.
Mumbo jumbo.
Want an Aussie kind of larrikin that people are going to love and
totally,
get behind.
Totally.
Yeah.
So that it's all going really well. It's like a massive thing now. And I remember we were doing like a photo at the end of the session that we often did, and there was a girl who was she's quite short from the UK, and she was like kind of in my armpit, and I was like that, and then click, and I'd go, "Sorry," she won't mind me. Probably let's just call her Darla. So I said, "Sorry, Darla, your face was in my armpit." And she said, "Oh, no, I love it. I love armpits and I love the smell." She said, "Can I have another smell?" And I go, "I mean, I don't see why not. Just have another crack." And she's like, "Oh, that's so fucking delicious. That's fucking..." And I'm like, not what I expected. And then she walked out. She comes back the next day, and after the class, she's loitering around. I'm like, "Darla, what's happening?" She's like, "Can I have another cheeky sniff? Like yesterday. I can't stop thinking about it." And I'm like, "Yeah, come on then."
But just a quick one. I'm
like, "Come on, mate." And then like she's like, "Oh, I love it." And I go, "Sorry, it's a bit smelly." She's like, "No, smelly, the better. I love it."
Oh,
and
now
then,
she's Scottish. Now she's heavily
Scottish.
Scottish.
She's just like, all the BOs really changed her accent.
Armpits, yeah.
So this went on for 2-3 weeks after every class. And so much so that I had like an audience because I told one of the other trainers, I said, "Just watch Darla after class, mate. We're doing this armpit sniff." So then I had
it's a thing we got going on.
I had like all these voyeurs watching. I had like 15 looking from the reception desk, and through the crack in the wall you could see me, and Darla's just like going hammer and tong.
Yeah.
And then I just said to her at the end, I said, "Look, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to do this morally, I'm going to have to charge you like $50.
Just a nominal fee.
Yeah.
Just a nominal fee to make it more professional.
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling somewhat unprofessional.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm strapped for cash. I'm fucking broke.
She was fucking loose, mate. Because she would have paid in the end, but I saw her. Darla was a dangerous woman.
Surely you had sexual relations with this woman?
No.
Nah?
She wanted to.
Yeah, I bet she would have wanted
it wasn't.
to.
She's still. Yeah. Anyway, she's out there, man. She's way more out there than I thought.
Yeah, interesting.
I think she lives in her car.
I've never actually heard that one before.
No,
but,
dude, I saw her once and she was in her car, and I'm like, "What are you doing, Darla?"
She was at home.
No, but this is the thing. Then I was like, I saw her once in this car. It was quite a nice car, and I didn't think anything of it. And then I saw her like a few nights later, same spot, same car, and then I was like, she lived in the car. Yeah,
there'd be a lot of that going on in LA, I'd say.
Yeah, but she dresses so well. So, and she's got money for
that's your normal job. That was the normal job that you got.
That was for a year, yeah. That got me out of gay bar.
You went from Craigslist into the gay bar and then into the armpit sniffing that dirt, but at the regular gym. So you were kind of working your way up.
Totally, it was good in there.
Next would be kind of investment banking, I would say.
Yeah. And that's the traditional transition.
The LA traditional progression.
Yeah,
progression.
But all the while I was still concurrently, trying to make it as like a stand up, or I was doing stand up. I was trying to make it as an actor too. So I did some good. I actually did some good acting stuff. I did anger management with Charlie Sheen.
Right.
I did like a show called The X's with Wayne Knight, who plays Newman on Seinfeld. I did a show called You're the Worst, which I'm in a bit, but I don't say a lot. And so I did okay, but I didn't actually plan on leaving LA. I just came back for a wedding with every intention of going back, and I just never went back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what was the, like, I mean, you've told all the funny stories and so forth about LA, but going over there and having a crack as a comic and as a, budding actor and so forth, like, what is living in LA like? I feel like it would be very Neverland, very, very strange, weird world to kind of live in. Is that the case?
Yes.
Or how did you kind of find it? Especially professionally, like,
Yes.
what was it like?
Well, it depends on your vocation. So if you're working as 9 to 5 job and you've got a pay packet coming in every week, it's going to be a great place to live. It gets difficult when you're hemorrhaging money and you haven't got that income.
Trying to make it as a creative something.
Dude, that's going to get difficult. So, and especially if you run out of money and you're starting from scratch as an entertainer, you're going to need to either book something big or just work a day job or something. You need to do, which is not easy to find.
LA's expensive too.
It really is. So, but LA, there's always, I call it the carrot dangling. There's always a carrot being dangled. There's never not.
It's like gambling.
100%, man. It's that's why LA's, it's a drug, man. It's such a hopeful city. It's like you're always so close.
Yeah.
Like when I left LA, I was like, I had like so many things I was so close for.
I'm going to make it.
Well, not because I was like, I'm leaving, and I was really close to being cast in Days of Our Lives. That they were saying, oh, we want you as this Aussie doctor or some shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I got to go back for the wedding. And then they were calling my agent and saying, no, we want him. And then I was like, I'm going back unless there's an offer or a contract. I'm going back.
Yeah, it's a wedding.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not fucking going for holidays, guys. I'm going for a wedding.
Yeah, but they wanted to start. And I'm like, well, if you really want to start, then... So you've just got to push back on people and see if there's anything under the hood. A lot of the time, they're full of shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Or they're waiting for another yes from someone above them. I had like 30 meetings with this one dude who's like kind of a mate, was more of a associate back then, about this show that we're going to do. And it was just like... we wasted a lot of time.
Yeah.
And you've got to do that, though. You get better at seeing whether people are full of shit or not.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think that it'll test out the good bloke radar over there, I guess. What's one of the... Because I've heard Theo talk about it on his podcast, because I've listened to all of his shows, and he lives in LA, and he always talks about the fact that it's like... It's one of the most transient, kind of like bullshit, kind of... non-communal areas that you can ever be. Everybody's kind of like everybody's a transaction to somebody else.
Yeah,
like that's what he said it feels like living in LA, although he's been there for a very long time. And I mean, I don't know very much about LA, but I'd imagine it would be just a city filled with just snakes, I feel like.
Yes, yeah, it is. Well, it's snakes and ladders.
Yeah,
and that's why LA is good, because you can hit a ladder and go up real quick.
100%.
But it's a bit of an interesting one. I think if you lived your whole life in LA, you just want to make sure that you've got some close friends there that you really trust, because it's, as you say, it's transient, but it's also transient friendships too.
For sure.
There are people there that, I was going through some old emails from when I was in LA, and people who I was emailing like a lot, and I was reading the emails, like we were good friends, and I don't even remember these people. I do not remember
That's
them.
what I mean about it being just like Neverland, because I've got a mate who lives over in Bali, and he's been over there about 10 years, and he's got like 2 or 3 mates.
Yeah.
Really? But he's got 1,000 mates.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's so hard to... He loves it over there. He's got one of the Southeast Asia's biggest and most successful gyms. It's a CrossFit gym, but it's like everyone fucking goes there. They have hundreds of people in sessions or whatever. And he loves it, but he's like, it's very hard to have a real life, because I can't really start a relationship with somebody, whether it's a friendship relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or whatever, because chances are, like, I might have this decent friendship of 3 months, but then that's probably going to be max. There's only so little people that are actually staying there for the long haul.
Yeah.
Bali, as a Westerner, it's always just a stopgap.
Yeah.
So, but for him it's not. So for him it's been quite. He's a real attractive dude, real nice guy. He's about 40 years old, and he's single, and he had a missus for a while, but she went back to Finland or wherever it was. It's just it's kind of tough, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough for him, and he's got this business that's pumping over there, but he's always like, fuck. And he actually grew up in LA, so he's kind of been. He grew up in Orange County, which is kind of like a place that you kind of can grow up and have a community, I guess. It's kind of out of the actual Hollywood-esque part of LA. But yeah, so I imagine it would be quite a weird place to live your life and you will settle down, really. But I mean, if you're there for a few years and trying to boost a career or just trying to have fun, I imagine it'd be the best place on the planet to be.
Yeah, it's good to like just FIFO and then jump out. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you grow up in LA, the upside is you're used to it, but it's a fucking jungle.
Yeah, for sure. It's not a pretty city.
No, it's like block to block.
Yeah, it's a gross
especially,
city.
But like, you know, you can see like Deros. And
you can see.
And then the next block though, it's like fucking beautiful.
Yeah, no, you're right. I feel like it's very much a concrete jungle, LA. Like I remember I've been there probably 5 or 6 times, only for small periods when I'm kind of going through to somewhere else. But I remember getting there for the first time and I was like, walking around on the boardwalk and, you know, whatever. I'm like, where's this Californian beach culture that I've been promised?
No.
But that's all down in San Diego, which is fucking unbelievable.
Or Malibu. Yeah, Malibu's not bad, but
yeah.
you're not going to get it in Venice. The beach there is no good.
Yeah.
Malibu's slightly better.
Yep.
And you see a lot more celebrities.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I remember
Malibu's up near where all the hills and stuff are, isn't it? There's good hiking up.
Yeah, man. There's fucking yeah. That's cool there.
I went hiking up one of the canyons up past Malibu one time when I was over there, I believe.
Dude, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
So did you do much travel when you were over there or the rest of the states?
Not really, man. I mean, barely any. Like, I had a job in Miami. I went to New Orleans. I went to San Diego for that dude's shoot. And that's about it.
Gotcha.
You know, so I'm thinking about going over there at the end of this year and just doing, like I mentioned before we started recording, doing a little bit of LA and maybe New York. I've never actually been to New York, which is weird. And it's always one of those things. It's like, I've got to go there this year. And it's like, fuck, 2019's almost over. So I want to at least have, you know, fill the sandwich a bit more.
Yeah. New York's hard when you're in the US because I feel like you have to be going to New York and back home from New York, or otherwise it's just a separate trip. It's like going to Perth from here, you know. It's like it's a 5-hour flight from LA to New York. It's just a prick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 5 hours isn't that bad, but
no, I know.
But I always say the same thing. Like, fuck, I want to go back to New York. I was there for a few days, 3 days, but it was on the end of one of my Adventure Fit trips with my company, and it was at the very early stage. So I had no systems, I had no support in the back end or whatever. So I had 3 days. One of them, we took some people to Niagara Falls. One of them was a day where we had a very small period of time at the National History Museum, and then a little bit of time at Central Park. And the next day, I was on the trip. Everyone else was doing free time, and I was just cranking out admin. Yeah. So I really didn't. I saw like 6 hours of New York, which really sucked, you know. Because I really got a good vibe from the city. Yeah. But every time I've been back over to the States, it's like, I just feel like I could go to San Fran or San Diego, or go check out Houston or Austin, and New York's fucking, it's a whole nother trip away, I feel like. Yeah, but I just feel like if I don't go this year, then when do I go? So next year. And flights are cheap at the moment. Once you go, there's a lot on at the start of next year. Yeah. I feel like I can maybe go, but I just don't want to go for the sake of just going and blowing money. I would kind of bank in some stand-up, bank in some podcasts to record, and then try and, probably do some crazy jobs too. No, seriously, I would get a bit more collateral for the performance.
Yeah. You got to keep adding to the material.
Cool.
But again, I'm still remembering stories. Like a war veteran. I'm still.
Yeah, sweet. Well, what have I got on here? I think we've pretty much covered most of the business we wanted to. I wanted to touch on. But so what about for the future for you then, Ash? Like you're obviously. I feel like you're a guy that. Just loves to make people laugh, make people smile, I guess. You're a performer. Like, what's the future hold for you? Where would you like to see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
I don't know about 5 or 10 years, but I just, it's such a tough question to ask. I mean, I think you just want to have moved forward, and I want to have gotten all of my stories, out in some way, shape or form, either through a stand-up special or like books or whatever the fuck it is. And then... still creating those stories. You know, I just want to be having and sharing moments with people that I find funny, and hopefully they do too. So, you know, it's just about. I'm pretty lucky, man. I'm pretty lucky, but you know, it is a business though, mate. You got to fucking you got to put the foot to the pedal and make sure you're doing the right things. And I drive pretty hard in that area, but you can always drive harder.
Yeah.
You know, just about. Yeah, I suppose I want to be richer in 10 years. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, nice one. All right, cool. Well, mate, thanks for coming on the show. I feel like that was just a great story of having a crack, you know? Like, you've had a crack. If I was to sum you up in one word, you were like, you know what? I just want to create a life that I want to live and make people smile, make people laugh and whatever. And I'm going to fucking do whatever I can to make it happen, and you're making it happen. So, mate, I wish you all the fucking...
Mate, you too. No, seriously, man. I think we can all do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got to keep having a crack.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to take the first step, you know. I'm entrepreneurially, that's kind of me. You're a performer, you know. The thing that makes me sad is people that procrastinate and they don't think they can do it and they don't take that step, you know. I was surfing with a buddy last weekend and he was talking to me about how he's always wanted to start his own business and work for himself, and he's missed too many, just loves surfing, started surfing late, and misses too many good waves because he's working for somebody else, and it frustrates him and pisses him off, and he's a real smart guy. And there's a million things that he could be doing, you know, but I think he's just stuck in that, you know, procrastination stage where he's just hasn't taken that step to have a crack at whatever it is that he's passionate about, you know. So but I think you're a good example of someone who's having a red hot crack.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I saw like a one of those inspo graphs, and it was just. I'll just share this with you because I found it really interesting. It's like just the three variables. You may have seen it: time, health, and wealth.
Yeah.
And you know, when we're in the first third of our life, we've got lots of time, lots of health, no wealth. Middle, no time, health, and wealth. And then at the end, we've got time, wealth, but no health.
Yeah.
So you want to try and take advantage when you've got all three pillars. Yeah. That's in that middle area.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree. And all right, well, that's a nice one to end on. So Ash, where can people find you? Anything you want to plug? Social medias, things you got going on?
Just my Instagram, ashwilliams1, my website, ashwilliams.com.au. Got podcasts, The Ash Williams Show. I do a lot of other podcasts, team effort, but it's all there.
Doing any topless Craigslist stuff while you're over here, while you're home?
I'll be doing some topless stuff in LA if you're there. If you want that, let me know. If I owe you money from last time, please don't message me. I'll be trying to avoid you. But yeah, man, I'm pretty active with in terms of getting back to people and stuff too. So
cool.
Feel free to message and let me know that you heard about me on this, because it's always good for me to track where people hear you from. You never bloody know.
100%.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
hey, thanks, Doc.
Ash, thanks
cheers,
for
bro.
coming
Thank you,
on the show,
mate. No worries.
And that's a wrap.